This video contains spoilers. If you care to watch the movies before you listen to any of the spoilers, I put links down in the description as to where you can find the full-length movies. Thank you. Number 5. Felidae. From first glance, Felidae looks like a cute kid's movie about a cat and his owner moving to a new house. However, Francis the cat soon, and I mean about 5 minutes into the movie soon, discovers a dead cat in his backyard along with his new companion Bluebeard. From there, the story turns into a murder mystery, as Francis and Bluebeard work to find out who or what has murdered not only this cat, but hundreds of others. Along his investigation, Francis discovers a videotape that serves as a diary to a mad scientist who's conducting experiments on endless cats until his lab is shut down. Only one cat remained to be tortured for the remainder of his time there. These events lead us further down the rabbit hole of the cruel and mentally unstable cat's whereabouts and whether he is to blame for all of this. The movie is very rated R, containing language, gore, religious, and sexual content. Not for the squeamish, even when it's animated. Number 4. Animal Farm. Animal Farm is a sort of social commentary about how working together can cause great accomplishment, but corruption from the success can quickly create classes and oppression. Set up on a farm owned in the beginning by a drunk who abuses and mistreats his animals, the various creatures decide to rise up and drive the man out of his home and take over the farm. Upon success of this plan, the animals are able to run the farm under the guidance of the pigs, which are said to be the most intelligent of them all. From this new management, the animals establish a wall full of laws for Animal Farm, including no animals should kill another animal, and all animals are created equal. Laws that for the time being are all fair and work to make a better place for any animal suffering at the hands of man. Conflict ensues when one of the pigs, properly named Napoleon, seeks to rule the animal farm by means of accusations and force. Taking place as leader with an army of killer dogs, Napoleon becomes worse off than the human in no time, trading with the outside world, allowing pigs to be better fed and less worked than all the other animals, and making decisions to put down any animal that defies him. Slowly, the pigs make changes to the laws of the farm, altering them so that the less intelligent animals don't notice, like the addition of no animal should kill another animal, without cause. Until by the end, the only law left is all animals are created equal, but some animals are more equal than others. Number 3. When the Wind Blows. A cautionary tale taking place during the Afghan-Soviet War about an elderly couple named James and Hilda Bloggs who live in an isolated cottage out in the countryside of southeast England. In a unique mixture of live footage, drawn, and stop animation, James is terrified upon discovering via radio that the war may only be 3 days away. Following the guidelines of government-issued Protect and Serve pamphlets, James begins building a shelter of doors within their home and gathering anything they'll need to survive the bomb and resulting fallout. Despite his constant concern, his wife Hilda is confident that they will survive the bomb just like they had in World War II during their childhoods, and that the Soviets will be defeated promptly. After the bomb drops, devastating their home and the land around them as far as the eye can see, they emerge from their shelter a couple days later and attempt to carry on life as usual, certain that the government will send help their way. Things are not as they seem, however, as the two start to experience aches and pains, headaches that make them lethargic and sick. They're slowly experiencing radiation poisoning, but they have no way of understanding this. As days move on, we see the deterioration of this confused and misunderstanding couple, who despite bleeding gums, vomiting hourly, and cancerous sores on their bodies, stay confident that help will arrive. James being the main culprit of this unyielding optimism that results in their demise, when asked if they should pray at the end, replies a common phrase of his, "If you think it's the correct thing to do." Number 2. The Plague Dogs. a message more extreme than Ferngully tried to convey about animal testing and abuse. The Plague Dogs is a story based on a book of the same name that follows a fox terrier named Snitter and a Labrador named Rolf, captives of a research facility in northwestern England. The facility was experimenting on the two, along with loads of other animals for various inhumane reasons. While Rolf was repeatedly drowned and resurrected to test his survival, Snitter had his brain experimented on, leaving him suffering from delusions and sounds in his head. Upon escaping from the facility, the two quickly discover that they must rely on their wild instincts to kill and eat, but run into trouble when their efforts attract the attention of the nearby humans, including the police and research facility. It's not long before word gets out that one of the two dogs is carrying the bubonic plague, and panic kickstarts everyone's efforts to find and kill the dogs. This chase truly makes the audience feel the helplessness of these dogs as they're backed against the ocean and forced to swim the endless waters as a last stitch of survival. Delusional Snitter mentions an island he can see and knows it to be freedom, and while Ralph knows it's not there, understands they're doomed as their energy dwindles, and claims to see it as well. Number 1. Grave of the Fireflies. This movie is notorious for being one of the most depressing tales of Japanese wartime. It's told as an extended flashback from the spirit of the main character Sita, a young boy shown dying in the first 5 minutes of the film from malnutrition. His story takes place in Kobe, Japan, 1945, in the last months of World War II. Sita and his young sister Setsuko are left to secure the home while their mother flees for a bomb shelter when air raids inform them of an attack. Caught off guard by a barrage of firebombs, their mother doesn't make it in time and is badly burnt to die shortly after. The kids, now orphans with their father taking part in the war, go to live with a distant aunt, but their welcome is quickly worn out when rations fall shorter by the day. Convinced that they're not wanted at the aunt's house, Sita and Setsuko leave to live on their own in an abandoned shelter, only to discover that with no money and no work, their food supply would only suffer. Sita does everything he can to keep his sister's spirits up throughout the whole film, resorting to looting and stealing from others just to keep them fed when times get tough. His efforts are short-lived, however, as Setsuko slowly becomes sick from malnutrition, and despite his best efforts and all the money their mother left them, he can't save her. After cremating her body, Sita also succumbs to starvation with no one to help him and no more family to call his own. The film displays the horrors of wartime on civilians and the length someone will go for the people they love. It makes you feel just as helpless as the kids are in a cruel world they didn't deserve to be in.